Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod. We have Eric Mitchell with us. Eric is CEO at Discount AI Inc., has a bunch of experience as a realtor, as a mortgage broker, I guess. And yeah, very interesting guy. Born in Podunk, in Saskatchewan, was the founder and CEO of Radix Marketing. So started early, is entrepreneurial gene development, one could say, and then moved to LA area and went on to do big things. He's an author, he's a fintech buff, and a bunch of other things, which we'll speak about today. This pod is presented to you by my company. It's called podpar.com. If you want to start, scale, or monetize your podcast, come to me, baby, and I will help you. Podpar.com. Eric, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself and about what you're up to nowadays.
Just trying to help entrepreneurs, whether it be loan officers, real estate agents, people in sales, understand what's going on with financial technology, how to capitalize on it, how not to be afraid of it, the way to beat fintech, right? Because most salespeople are afraid of, oh my God, AI is going to replace me. Oh my God, technology is I won't be needed anymore. It's like, no, it's not that you won't be needed. The people that adopt technology and use it are going to thrive. The ones that don't adopt it, yeah, you'll be replaced. Right? If you're not going to adopt technology, then you're going to quickly become irrelevant. And so just trying to help people understand not to be afraid of it, but to actually engage and adopt it.
Yeah, just to push that reasoning a bit further, like what if they're competing against AI magnets like myself that just take everything and they're like, oh, I tried this tool, but it's not yielding everything. And the reason is that Charles is taking 99.999% of the market with my AIs that are self-reproducing.
Well, it's not that somebody's taking a market, right? So think of it from a sales standpoint. If I'm a real estate agent, it's not that an AI is going to go show homes to a consumer, to a husband and wife that want to go look at homes. AI is not going to get in the car and drive them to go look at homes. However, how did they meet you, right? What drove the conversation? What created the outbound? How did you leverage technology to understand that they were in market and now's the time to outbound them? It's about leveraging the technology to make the client experience better, but AI can't do your job for you, but they can tell you when to do your job a lot more effectively.
First question I wanted to start with, Eric, like how does someone go from podunk to rich?
Oh, dude, it's a painful experience, right? And that's part of why I wrote the book. My journey was painful. And so what kept me going and the observation that I made was when you look at sales, it doesn't matter what you're selling, but the top 1% are the ones making the money. Realtors, loan officers, financial planners, insurance agent. It doesn't matter to me what you're selling. The top 1% are making money, lots of money. The bottom 99% are not, but it's a level playing field. They don't have access to more resources, right? It's the same amount. So what's different about the 1%? Why do they drive further? And so I was curious about it. So I would ask, I would seek out the best of the best of the best. That's what I've always done in my career. If I want to do something, I'm going to go to the person who's doing it now the best and just ask them what they're doing and then just do it, whatever they say. And so I started asking the question, like, why do you earn more money than you need? Like, what's driving that? Because you don't need $10 million a year. We all want $10 million a year, but you don't need $10 million a year. And so why do some people stop and pay their bills? And then some people go way past what they need. And it was fascinating to me that the answers that came back all fell into one of 5 different buckets. There was only 5 different categories that the answers would come back as. And the most startling observation for me was that it was never about the money. Ever, not one time. The bottom 99% say, I want the money. So they don't get it. The top 1%, it's not about the money. So they get it because it's not about the money. And so how do you change what you believe to be true? Because your behavior won't change unless you change what you believe. Our behaviors are based on, I believe this, therefore my behavior will result because that's what I believe. And so if you believe that, you know, it's a tough market and there's not enough sellers and there's a low inventory, then you're going to behave based on that belief. Or you can believe, you know, there's never been a time to make millions of dollars in real estate because the bar is so low and your competitors are so bad that all you have to do is be good and you make millions and millions of dollars. Then you're going to behave that way. You're going to seek out that information. You get to choose what you believe and then seek out that information. But so why do 99% believe the noise? It's just noise. It's background noise. It's not real. None of it's real. And so so I made an observation, wrote a treatment, book publisher, you know, asked me to prove it, right? Like, prove your theory, please. So I did. And they're like, oh, wow, wait a second. That's a real thing. And so got it published a few years ago and had a lot of fun with it.
Interesting. Because yeah, I make good money and it's fun and I mean, is it about money? Me,
It's
it's
never about
about
money, brother.
winning. It's about winning, you know, and
So what does winning get you though? I'm happy to do this with you, brother. So like, what does winning get you though? Why is it about winning? Who taught you that winning is important?
uh well, that's my day to day, right? Like my best self wants to do good with that. It's like the chocolate covered carrot in which I want wealth and fame and
But what
power
does
to
that get? But what is
influence
right? But what does it
it,
get you?
yeah, influence the world, you know, in a
But
direction that
what
I
is it?
think is better.
But what does
And
that get you?
that gets other human beings happy. And I feel that
Well,
there's a lot of people suffering and being raped and
I
murdered on a
yeah.
daily basis, but that's not what I have my mind focused on a daily basis. It's
So what's
chasing
it focused on?
something like a happy pit bull. And I'm really happy as a result. I make loads of money and but yeah, money is cool too. It's quite aspirational. It's like this little kid that I was at 9, you know, looking at this Corvette front page magazine and I wanted that, you know. So it's also about pleasing that kid, I guess.
But as a 9-year-old, who did you want to please when you were 9? Was it
Probably
trying to
my
please your dad?
parents.
Were
Yeah.
you trying to make your dad proud? Were you trying to make your mom
Yeah,
happy?
and
Were you
my
trying to
dad had you know, these well, not a Corvette, but like BMW. So I guess I wanted to be like my dad.
okay, now we're getting somewhere. Okay, so talk to me about your dad. So was he a good influence, a bad
Oh
influence?
yeah, very good. Love my dad, serial entrepreneur.
Did he teach
Quite
you a lot of things as a
conservative.
kid?
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably around to this day 10% like my dad. And that's a lot, you know, in my world.
Got it. So your dad's almost like a hero to you.
No, I don't
No?
have much heroes, you know. I'm my own hero, I would say. But I don't fetishize much stuff or humans in this life. Not at that stage, you know, I did so much mental work that
No, that's good. But so again, coming back to your dad though, was your dad the biggest influence on you as a kid? What about your mom? What was there an uncle, an aunt, a grandparent, or was it
no,
primarily your
mom,
dad?
no. But you know, I was this popular kid in primary school, so was I seeking to impress someone? Well, probably not consciously, right? But maybe my friends or you know, like or the ladies, who knows?
Yeah, it's all if you peel back the layers of the onion, there's almost always a girl involved. Um, but that's usually not quite the driver though. So one driver might be so is your dad still around?
Yeah.
And is he prepared for retirement financially?
Oh yeah.
Is he set?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he said so you don't have a worry there. So that's one out of the five. Take it off. Do you have kids?
Not yet. I have
Not yet.
4 dogs, but about to have kids. But I'm still gonna take care of my dad, you know? Like, I mean, I'm in Mexico here and I'll just have him in his wheelchair watch the sunsets here in Mexico every day. So it's not a priority, right? But
No, but he's okay. It's from when I say
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
okay
he's
financially,
successful.
is he going to need any money in
No,
retirement?
no,
Okay, so you want to spend time with him, but you're not worried about the money side of taking care of him because some people
no.
are.
No, I'm
Okay,
not worried about money, like I plan to be a multi-billionaire, if not trillionaire.
no, I'm
So
talking about him having money, not you having money.
yeah, but there's
Does he
there's
right now have the money
stages.
for retirement?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, but like to witness a sunset from a Mexican mansion seaside, probably not that type of money. So that's the vision I have for him.
Okay, so walk me through that. So where'd that vision come from? Like being able to hang out with your dad, watching a sunset from a mansion. Like where'd
Well,
that
it's
come
like,
from?
why not, We're on
I
this
know.
planet Earth and a bunch of people limit themselves Dave Ramsey style all the time, like save up money. Like, why not spend it and why not celebrate this life and be creative with it? And I mean, while not hurting others and the planet, right? But I feel
But
being
where'd the
rich has
vision come
become
from?
taboo.
I get all that, and I agree with it. But like, how did you invent the vision of the
Other
sunset?
humans is the answer because data is floating around in this world and we pick up stuff and we try to mimic it, right? Like, oh, look at this billionaire driving this Rari, a Rari's a rare car. There's not a lot of people driving it. So it's like, oh, that human's doing something different, I guess. And he
But I mean,
looks
but I'm
like he's
going to come
having
back to
fun.
the house with the sunset. Only the house with the sunset, not cars, not other people, not other humans, not just the house with the sunset.
Yeah, that's
Where did that come
probably
from?
Tony Robbins at Mylett. Yeah.
So they said something about that, and it
Well, they
struck a
have
chord.
these houses. Like
But
talk
you said
about
house with a
mimicking.
sunset.
Yeah.
Why watching a sunset with your dad?
Sunset, because I don't know, I'm a sunset watcher. I watch the sunset here every day on this beautiful view that we have here. I don't know where the sunset would come from. It's beautiful.
Okay.
It's like this.
It is, yeah,
It's
we agree it's
probably not
beautiful.
even data, like it's probably in my genes. Sunset is something deep and philosophical and deep connection with nature, all the colors and so forth. So I'm not even sure if I have a memory of that one.
Okay, so do you respect your dad?
Yes, but
Oh,
I'm
but
not
okay,
a
what's the but?
respectful. I mean, I'm not considered respectful because I question pretty much everything, always been rebellious. Um, well,
You
my
can be
dad's a bit.
rebellious and still be respectful. They're not.
Yeah, yeah, but I tend to be an idiot sometimes, push the boundaries too much, tend to be respectful, but yeah,
Okay,
I always
how
had a
does your dad?
problem with the word respect, right? Because I was always in trouble at school. So
I'm only talking about your dad.
yeah, yeah, I respect my dad. Hell yeah. I mean, I respect
Okay.
all human beings.
No, I'm only talking about your dad, brother. I'm just talking about your dad.
Yeah, I respect my
There's a
dad.
level of respect for your dad. Okay,
Yeah.
so do you feel any sort of desire to honor your dad in some sort of way? And
Mm,
it's okay if not.
I'm
We're not
already honoring him by being his son, and being
okay. So it's not a
successful,
driver.
but yeah.
So that's not a driver. So I'm gonna say let's put that on a shuffle. And so you don't have kids yet. One day, you want to have kids. Is there any sort of emotional trigger or emotional anything around having kids, like the type of father you want to be, or the type of husband you're going to want to be, or the type of life you're going to provide for them? Is there a trigger there? Um,
Yes.
okay,
But I
walk me
feel
through
it's
that.
like selfish. It's the fact that I feel that I was restricted and limited at school with my experience. So, for example, when I have kids, it's not the reason why I want to have kids, right? But I want to start a school that will give them a better future, that will teach them how to be entrepreneurs and so forth. But there's no like, maybe I'll get that feeling once I have children. Some people have told me that you'll see when you have kids. Maybe some biochemistry in me will change, but no, it's I'm my own legacy. It's very
So it's not
selfish,
okay.
almost
No,
megalomania.
selfish is good. Brother, selfish is good. There's no judgment. There's no right or wrong here, right? Everybody has a trigger that got installed somewhere along the way and then it becomes subconscious. We're not aware of it. It's there. And what I'm trying to help people do is go back and get it, find it, because it'll drive you, right?
Yeah,
It'll change your behavior on a dime if you
right.
can open it up. But most of us have buried it.
Yeah, well,
And
if we
so
want to dumb it down, I had a very bad experience at school, and I probably want to prove all of these assholes wrong.
there we go. Hold
Yeah.
on. That's the second. So that's the number two bucket. So the number two, and there's not one more important than the others. There's five of them in a circle. There's just the second bucket. But I call it emotional gratification. So it usually revolves around if we all know the four-letter word that starts with the letter F, right? So it's a blank you moment, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it'll drive people. It drove me for 30 years. I had one of those. And man, I would get up early and stay late because I needed to get that moment. Okay, so what for you defines it? So there's I paint for me a picture in time where you get to say I win.
I'm
There's
already
a, there's
fucking
a, there, there's
winning.
no
I've
more. I
been
win.
winning. I've been winning since I stopped being a drunkard and a loser at like 18 or 19, started my businesses, traveled the world, you know. So everything since like a decade for me is gravy. It's not to the stage that I want, right? But I never
What's the
tortured
stage that you
myself.
want? No. What's the stage that you want?
Billionaire, a number
Okay,
with
billionaire.
yeah, that's
Okay,
and why
so
again? Not because there will be like scientific happiness out of it or anything, but just because
you
why
get to
not?
say I'm a billionaire.
Yeah, and you achieved your goals,
Hold on,
right? But
brother. There's no you don't need to defend it. It's not bad, right? Like so. Are there people in this world who think becoming a billionaire is selfish and bad? Sure. Are you going to listen to them? No. So don't. There's no need to apologize. There's no right because if you apologize for it, your subconscious is assuming this is bad, and
right,
so it's gonna harm you.
right,
So don't apologize. If that's what you want, then that's what you want. God, right? Hold on. Are you gonna harm people?
could.
No.
I
Okay.
mean,
So that's a conflict. Why would you harm people?
no, some people, but I would try
Why would you
not
harm some
to.
people?
Yeah, for example, if you make 1 billion in petroleum, right? And you burn, and the planet is heating as a result, and folks
So are
are
you
being
planning on making $1 billion by burning fossil fuels and harming the planet? Is that your
no,
strategy?
because I thought about it, you know, I restrained myself with some guidelines because I could go off. A past version of myself didn't have much ethics. Fortunately, I gained them along the way.
Okay, so hold on. So you're being very self-aware. You're learning on the journey of what it means to not harm, right? We're all young and dumb, and we don't realize we're young and dumb. We think we know everything and we're going to take over the world. I would wish all 16-year-olds should be CEOs because they know everything, right? God bless. Um, but as we age and we start learning, we start realizing, oh, wait a second, I'm making some mistakes here. This is not good. And all of us go through that journey, myself included. So being self-aware of that, hey, I'd like to not create harm. Hold on. I don't want to hurt anybody. That's not my goal. And so I call that a filter, right? I'm going to put a filter on the goal of I'm not going to do harm. I'm going to get there. I don't want to hurt people along the way. And great, that's a good filter. But you also don't want to apologize for it, whatever it is the goal is. So, okay, so your goal is to become a billionaire. Give me the moment that you know you are, right? So you're looking at your financial statement, you're meeting with your financial people, because if you have that much money, you don't have one person, you got a team. And so you're meeting with your team and they say, hey, dude, congratulations, you're a billionaire. You made it. Hey, now what? What do you do?
Yeah, on my side, I'll keep on being a happy pit bull, right? Chasing something else. To me, it's the journey, it's the emotions, it's the memories, it's the
That's
state,
all
it's the
good, man.
biochemistry of it, you know? So, and I have so many goals as well that the billionaire thing, I might have a shiver too, you know, be like, oh, I'm the man. But I'd wake up at first, my life wouldn't change that much. I think, you know, you're still with that voice in your head and so forth.
I'm gonna paint a very different picture for you, brother. On the journey to being a billionaire, your life will change.
Oh yeah.
There's no way to get there and have the same life you got today. It's not
Yeah,
possible.
I agree.
So to say, oh, I'm not going to change, well, that's a lie. You're lying to yourself. You will change
Yeah,
because
but once
otherwise you
that
won't get there if you don't
happens,
change.
once the bank account hits 1 billion, right? Like I was referring to this, but yeah, obviously you change tons, and it's the journey, is the Robin Sharma style of vision. So yeah, who knows? There's so many goals as well on my side that I don't think that one would you know, change the game completely, but it'd be fun. You
Here,
know, it's the
here,
why not question.
well, when you talk to the Ed Myletts of the world, right? Um, there's a very clear understanding that they didn't get there with balance. Balance, what I hear you describing, right? I'm going to enjoy my journey and I'm going to have fun along the way. And Ed Mylett didn't have fun along the way. No, he didn't. I know his journey. It wasn't fun. Right? He was incredibly focused, like insatiable,
Looks like
focused.
a happy dude though.
Now, yeah. Hold on. When you get to whatever the level is, right? Patrick Bet David, etc. I remember I used to hang out with Patrick Bet David when he lived in Encino, California. And so he was just as intense, but don't tell me that this guy wasn't focused because I was in the room. This dude was laser. It wasn't about balance. It wasn't about being happy. It was about getting the goal. That's it. You're either on my bus and we're going in this direction, or get off my bus. But the bus is moving. And same with Ed Mylett. And so Gary V, I pick one. It doesn't matter. All of them. They got there from being focused, not from having fun.
Yeah.
Now they're having fun, right? Because you hit a level where the money doesn't matter anymore. They have too much of it. And so it's like now I'm having fun. I don't need the money. But getting there, they didn't have fun. None of them had fun. It's not about fun. It's about the goal. That's it. I've never met, never once have I met that person that did all that without being laser focused and not having balance. There's no balance. I call it integration. The things you want, you integrate into your life. There's no balance. You're laser focused.
Fully agree with that. Balance, obsession, and well, the thing,
That's correct. Obsessed with whatever it is that you're trying to do. And if you're not obsessed, you won't. It's not
I
going to
was
happen.
born that way thanks to my mom. Shout out to mom.
Okay.
She gave me the ADHD and OCD genes, so I have that in me. It's a superpower, you know, once you know meditations and all of these things. So
Yeah.
the thing with fun, you know, is, I mean, I'm a multiple time Ironman and ultra runner, and it seems that I converted pain into fun. So that's the weird thing when I hear like, oh, don't have, well, I have fun daily. You know, I crunch 20, 25 meetings a day. And to me, it feels really satisfying to go to bed with like zero in the tank.
And I agree with that, but that's not balance. Going to sleep with zero in the tank is not balance.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not
it's not.
okay.
I
So
fucking
so
hate
so
the word balance. Not sure
I
why you brought
agree.
it up. Like
Balance
balance is for normies, you know?
balance is what you have when you don't have to worry about money. But as long as you're worried about money, I don't know how you have balance. I don't know what that means. Like balance, but you're worried about
Interesting.
money. There's no balance.
But I'm not worried about money, but I'm chasing something, you know? I don't operate from a trauma perspective. I operate from a riches perspective. So I'm chasing something, you know? Is that the right philosophy, or should I be
No, I don't want to
traumatized
say
about
shit,
money and be like,
brother.
oh shit?
There's no should or shouldn't, right? It's whatever works. So what I have witnessed, and I'm not a billionaire yet, right? So I can't tell you, here's the
Yeah.
journey, right? And what I can tell you is, right, there's a very consistent path. And so the consistent path is you have to change who you are at certain increments. Because if you don't, then you'll just keep getting the same. So I use this, I have this grid, but somebody who gets into sales, let's just talk about the journey of sales, right? Whatever, like you sell podcasts, whatever we're selling for a living. So when we first get into sales, most people have a goal of $100,000 a year. Right now, I'm going to get out of corporate world. I'm going to finally earn $100,000 a year. It seems like a common number. And so it's a ceiling though, right? They bounced off that ceiling. They haven't figured out how to get through it. And then finally they get their first good year and they make $130,000 that year selling something, right? And they broke through that ceiling above 100,000. So now hopefully that 100,000 is a floor. They've learned how to do that. So keep doing it. You'll be over $100,000 a year. But the next ceiling is $250,000 a year. And they bounce, they bounce, and they bounce, and they bounce. And I'll watch people sit there between 100 and 250 for 20 years. They just stay right in that channel. They don't bounce through the next, because to do that, you have to change. You have to be a different person. You have to believe different things. Otherwise, you're just going to stay in that channel, right? So now you somehow hire an assistant, you change your systems, you change your methodology, and you go over 250. Great. Now hopefully 250 is a floor. Now you go to 500. Now 500 is the ceiling. Then you break through that. Now 1 million is the ceiling. Now 2 million, then 5 million, then 10 million, then 20 million, then 50 million. Each one at every single stage, you have to change. Otherwise, you're just going to stay in that channel. And so when people say, no, I'm going to be the same person. No, you won't. No, you won't. Not even close. Oh, if you are the same person, you won't get the goal. That's the reality.
Dude, such a great point to hammer home. I think people think it's gonna be easy, you know, and painless, but
Oh my God, brother.
different
If you're on
reality.
the entrepreneur journey, it is nothing but pain. It is. Now, how do I manage it? How do I manifest it? How do I channel it into positive energy? Right? How do I not listen to the noise? Right? How do I stay focused on my goal because of what it's going to do for me and my family, or my goals, or what the moment you're looking for, whatever it is for the individual. But the world has pain. I haven't met a human yet that doesn't have trauma. I haven't met them yet. Now there's different levels of trauma. Like, I'm not saying all trauma is the same, but I've never met somebody that doesn't have trauma. We all got it. Now what do you do with it?
We're all systems that absorb data, and sometimes we repeat that thousands and millions of times, and that creates big pain. There's good pain, there's bad pain, you know. So, Eric, we're gonna rebook you on the pod like yearly because you're like, yeah, you're different. You say and think and act differently. So love that. Where can people find out more about you till then?
Oh, yeah, on the screen, eric-mitchell.com. All my information's right there, eric-mitchell.com.